All right, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to This Explainer, where today we're basically going to act as investigators. We're going to uncover the truth behind your child's attention span and figure out exactly what requires a professional evaluation versus what is just, well, totally ordinary childhood behavior. You know, if you've ever found yourself literally pulling your hair out wondering why your kid's focus seems so completely inconsistent, you are in the exact right place. So let's get started.
Let's open with a paradox that almost every single parent has seen firsthand. On one hand, you have a child locking onto a super complex video game for a solid hour. I mean, they're remembering intricate rules, they're tracking multiple goals, and their focus is just absolute. But then, on the other side, that exact same child falls completely apart just 5 minutes into sitting down for homework. The pencil is tapping, the chair is spinning, the instructions are instantly forgotten, and their attention has completely left the room.
So what does this all mean? Well, these totally contrasting scenarios often cause parents to jump to two very different yet equally premature conclusions. One parent sees the gaming and says, look, if my child can focus on a game, this cannot be ADHD. They're just choosing not to focus. But then another parent sees the homework struggle and reaches the exact opposite conclusion, saying, my child is distracted. This must be ADHD. As investigators, we've got to recognize that both of these conclusions are moving way too fast.
To really solve this mystery, we first need to demystify why screens command attention so incredibly well. Games are literally built with persuasive design mechanics. They give players clear goals, rapid feedback, frequent novelty, and immediate rewards. Now, homework often features the exact opposite. It has delayed results, unclear instructions, a genuine fear of making mistakes, and rewards that just feel miles away. Because of this, a child can remain deeply engaged in a game they love, but still experience very genuine, real attention regulation difficulties in a less stimulating setting. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is this: screen behavior alone cannot diagnose ADHD. Seriously, a highly successful gaming session does not rule ADHD out. And, on the flip side, one difficult, frustrating homework session does not prove ADHD. And actually, importantly, it also doesn't prove laziness either. A child's ability to focus fluctuates with interest, task difficulty, and the type of effort required. We simply cannot base a diagnosis on screen time.
Section 1. Spotting the broader pattern. Zooming out from a single moment.
Right, so the very first question in our investigation is time. A difficult few days or a rough week due to a family crisis is completely different. Well, actually, scratch that. It requires a totally different approach than a pattern that is continued for months or even years. Temporary distractibility often improves when the situation changes, like, after they finally catch up on some sleep. We really need to differentiate between a temporary rough patch, like a few weeks of emotional stress, and a persistent developmental pattern that just refuses to fade.
Now here is where the real detective work happens. Every child loses focus, sometimes, for sure. Ordinary distractibility happens when a room is too loud, a task is dragging on too long, or a kid is just plain hungry. But an ADHD pattern? That's much broader. A professional evaluator is going to look for a pattern that is developmentally unexpected, meaning it's substantially greater than what you'd expect for kids their age. They'll want to see if it's present across multiple settings, like both at home and at school, and whether it genuinely, meaningfully interferes with their daily life, their learning, and their relationships.
Before jumping straight to assuming ADHD, a good investigator has to rigorously rule out other suspects that mimic inattention. Did you know that sleep deprivation, underlying anxiety, or hidden learning challenges can create behaviors that look exactly like attention difficulties? It's true. Even vision or hearing problems, or stress in their digital environment can be the actual culprit. A comprehensive evaluation doesn't just hunt for ADHD, it carefully rules all these other possibilities out first.
Section 2. The Observation Toolkit. Moving from labeling to understanding.
Okay, so let's equip you with a practical observe, support, and document plan. This 5-step method provides a structured way to track what's actually happening in reality. Step 1, describe the behavior neutrally. Don't just write cannot focus. Write something specific like left the table 4 times during a 15-minute task. Step 2, identify the setting. Was it noisy? Were they tired? Step 3, try reasonable supports, maybe a quieter workspace or giving shorter instructions. Step 4, gather info from teachers. And step 5, if it persists, you now have this incredible set of data to bring to a qualified evaluation.
Now, as you're documenting these behaviors, it is absolutely vital to rethink how we talk about them. Instead of hitting your child with diagnostic stamps or shame, like blurting out, "You definitely have ADHD," or "You're just lazy,"
Try substituting that with observational curiosity. Try saying something like, "Hey, I'm seeing a pattern that is affecting your day. We need more information." Or, "I notice games hold your attention way easier than this assignment. Let's figure out what makes this task so tough." This protects your kid from shame while keeping the focus completely on problem solving.
If you want to put this into practice today, try a 7-day observation exercise. Over just 1 week, pick a single recurring difficulty and neutrally document it using these metrics. Note the specific task, the time of day, how they slept the night before, and most importantly, what actually helped them get back on track. Did a quick stretch break help? Did breaking the homework into tiny steps do the trick? Try to do this without turning the week into constant surveillance. Just quietly gather the facts and see if a clear pattern emerges.
If your data shows that these concerns are persistent, developmentally concerning, and really affecting their routines or emotional well-being, well, that is when you seek out a qualified healthcare professional. Seeking an evaluation doesn't lock you into a specific diagnosis or a specific treatment plan, because remember, your ultimate goal here isn't to just slap a label on as quickly as possible. The goal is to understand your child accurately enough to provide the exact right support.
I want to leave you with this final, really important thought for your investigation. Ask yourself, are you simply looking for a quick label to explain the distraction away, or are you truly ready to understand the whole pattern? Remember, you don't have to solve this puzzle alone. Your most valuable role as a parent is to observe carefully, reduce the shame, create supportive conditions, and communicate effectively with professionals when things stay difficult. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep observing, and I'll catch you on the next one.